Go camera mic. Alright.
Just do it, Cisco. Just do it. Don't forget, you can't run, David. You can't run. You ready?
Okay, I've got what I'll take it in the top of the neck. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dave Marks. Welcome to Lawndale, California. You have been watching silent baseball for one inning. Now you're going to hear a little talking as we come to the top of the second inning. And the first pitch is over the head of Ismail Amin, who's up here for the first time. This is Compton's Centennial at bat. Centennial, they are batting right now facing the Leuzinger Olympians. For the home team, this is the home field for the Leuzinger Olympians. And we will pick up things as we go. This pitch is inside and tight. Charles Boyden is on the mound doing the pitching for Leuzinger, and Leuzinger leads 1-0. They got a run in the bottom half of the first inning. And we pick up the action here. As you see, Amin at the plate. He's hitting 400, playing right field. That's in for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. I think we can get defensively set for you for the Leuzinger Olympians. Around the infield, Carlos Ramos, will be at third. Francisco Yola will be at short. Ansolino Dorado at second. As here's a 2-1 on the way from Boyden. That's going to be lined towards center field and into the glove of center fielder Jose Ibarra. So Ibarra right there on the spot to make the catch. And that's one man out here in the second inning. Amin was batting 5th in the order. Now we come to the 6th man in the order, and that's going to be Antoine Shepard. Antoine Shepard, been up one time on the year, 1 for 2. His one hit was a dinger. Translated, that means home run in New Yorkese. That's they call dingers home runs. This one runs them in tight. 1-0. Charles Boyden with a start for the Leuzinger Olympians this afternoon. And slow pitch in there for a call strike. Looked like the curve, 1-1. Antoine Shepard, the left fielder for Compton Centennial. 1-1 delivery toward the middle. Yolala has it go over the glove, and it's going to be into left center field. And he's on there safely. Shepard is on. As the ball hops over the glove, I guess you give him a bad hop base hit, perhaps. So on the single, the base runner for Compton, coming with one man out here in the second. Hassan Amin will be the batter. Hassan Amin hitting 7th in the order. And we'll see what kind of speed Shepard's got at first base. He's got a decent lead. Doesn't go. This one grounded toward the hole, and that'll find its way into left field for the base hit. So a clean single to left. Runners on first and second for Compton with one out. And with the bottom part of their order coming up, they are getting things going here with Kellen Buffington, the scheduled hitter. Kellen Buffington is the starting pitcher on the afternoon. And he is one of the leading hitters on this Centennial club. Coming into this game hitting .625. So he not only does it with the arm, he obviously does it with the bat. Runners on first and second. Shepard and Amin are the runners. They take their lead, one out. Off the plate. This is a Compton Centennial team that comes in with a good overall record at 5-2. They are 1-2 in the Ocean League. And they beat Leuzinger their first time. They could get 2 here. It's hit slowly. They'll get 1. And they will not be able to complete as he's pulled off the bag. Here's a throw to the plate. They may get him. He's going to be out of there. The throw pulled first baseman Lopez off the bag. But aggressive base running as Shepard tried to round third and score on the back end, sneak in. And the throw to the plate, David Pratt out there blocking the plate. They get him to retire the side. So good play made at the plate, and it'll remain 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. Back after this. Well, a contact play ending the top half of the second inning. Shepard throwing out at the plate, and there was some concern as he came into the plate as to whether he got his spikes up a little too high in trying, of course, to take out catcher David Pratt. And the umpire had a little word with the coach of Compton Centennial as Leuzinger comes up here in the bottom half of the second inning. And Charles Boyden will be the leadoff batter. Boyden hitting 7th in the order. Leuzinger with a 1-0 lead. This one's hitting the air to left field. It's rather deep. Left fielder goes back, going back, and it will not get it. That ball is going to be gone for a home run. A home run for Charles Boyden. That one was well hit. And it's 2-0 in favor of the Leuzinger Olympians. Charles Boyden going to be met at home plate by the rest of his teammates. And he gave that one a lift to left field, making it 2-0 here on the afternoon. Well, it is a windy day. It's a windy afternoon. It's windy and warm. And wind may have helped that one a little bit, but he did give it a decent ride to left field. And the score is 2-0 in favor of the Leuzinger Olympians. Leuzinger coached by Joel Romero. This is Joel Romero's first year coaching the varsity. He came over after coaching the freshmen and the JV. Joel Romero is on the mound. They're taking a look right now at Kellen Buffington. And maybe we're going to get a little pitching change. Apparently so. Looks like Compton Centennial will change pitchers. And what have we here? Compton Centennial coach Gerald Pickens has been thrown out of the ball game. Now, I don't know what he was arguing about, but we have been told, I am not down on the field, but someone down on the field has relayed to us that he may have been ejected. You see him looking at his lineup card there. Looked like he was going to make a pitching change on the mound. Kellen Buffington, the starting pitcher, giving up the home run. This is a Centennial team that comes into this ball game very good. They beat Leuzinger their last time out 8-3. They are a good hitting team. They've got a lot of power on the team, and they take a lot of pride in their performance. And I know that head coach Gerald Pickens been around the game of baseball for 30-some-odd years and has done fine work in the game of baseball with the special academy he runs. So he takes pride in this team and his players. But something happened here. I don't know what he said to the umpire or what he objected to, but he has been sent to the showers with his team trailing 2-0 and just in the bottom of the second. So it may have started over that situation at the plate when Shepard was thrown out at the plate, and perhaps the plate umpire said something to him about Shepard coming in too high as this ball is in tight as he tries to bunt Andrew Gambino, the batter for Leuzinger. And he falls out of the way of it, or he would have been hit with the pitch. So I don't know who will pick up the coaching duties for Centennial in the absence of Gerald Pickens, but it's sort of a shame to see Gerald Pickens get tossed so early because he is a very good coach and a good motivator. And I know he tries to do some good things with this program, with the Centennial program. Takes a lot of pride in his baseball coaching ability. So something had to have gotten him ticked off to get him tossed that quickly. We don't know what it was. Perhaps after the game I'll speak to him and find out. But he's tossed here with his team trailing 2-0. There's nobody out on the second. Andrew Gambino, the batter. He's the starting right fielder. He's a junior and showing bunt. Now switches off and swings through it. So it's now no balls and 2 strikes. And it's in tight, chasing him back a little bit. And Celino Dorado would be the 9th man, an on-deck hitter for the Leuzinger Olympians. Here's Buffington's 1-2 pitch. That's in there for call strike 3. So he gets Gambino looking. 1 man away here in the second inning. So the 9th man in the order, Ancelino Dorado, sophomore second baseman, will be the batter. He's described by Coach Romero as a scrappy hitter. Has good defense, excellent defensive player, good arm, and very vocal. They say that Dorado is one of the 3 promising sophomores as he fouls that pitch off. Leuzinger Olympians baseball squad loaded with players that are basically inexperienced in certain areas. Kind of young, a lot of sophomores and juniors. They've not been a good offensive team thus far as that's chopped short. Washington should have the hop. 2 gone. Johnny Washington on the throw. Getting back to that thought about the style of team that the Leuzinger Olympians have at the moment. Their offense has not been scintillating in the early part of the season as they are 0-3 in Ocean League play. 1-5 overall with 1 tie. As Francisco Yola comes to bat for the 2nd time. He came in hitting .350, so he is one of the more productive hitters on the season as he watches strike 1. But what Coach Romero is concerned about is the defense, which has been decent, not sparkling, but it's been good. 1-1. Has been a little bit ahead of the offense at this point. Yola swings to that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kellen Buffington being touched with that home run. Trying to settle down after Charles Boyden led off the inning with a home run. That's outside 2-2. This is the first game we've done here from Leuzinger Olympian Field. There is no electronic scoreboard, so you have to remember where you are or keep score with pencil and paper. Foul tip held on to, and that's 2 strikeouts in the inning, sandwiched between a home run. And at the end of 2 full innings of play, Leuzinger 2, Centennial nothing. Well, of the baseball games and softball games that we've done this season, and we've done a couple for Hawthorne, a couple of Hawthorne girls softball and 1 Hawthorne baseball. This is the first Leuzinger game, and I must say the best weather we have had for any baseball game. It is comfortable here this afternoon as we come to the 3rd inning. Ronnie Simpson, batting 9th in the order, will try to bunt for Centennial. He bunts it foul. Ronnie Simpson, the starting center fielder, hitting .250. Coming into the ball game. And here's a delivery. Tries to bunt again. It's 2 strikes. So good idea. Trailing by 2 runs. You're the 9th man in the order. And it looks like he's got a little bit of speed there. So in his situation, he wants to get on, basically. Get something going for the guys up at the top of the lineup. Right here, he's 0-2. Boyden ahead. So you not expect to see him try to bunt a 3rd time. I don't think. That's back and over the mound. Yawala is not going to be able to make the play, and he'll be on. Ronnie Simpson will be a leadoff base runner. So that'll be an infield hit for Ronnie Simpson. Ball just chopped over the mound, and Boyden not able to make the play. So Ronnie Simpson leads off the top of the 3rd for Centennial with an infield hit, and he's got decent speed on at first as Centennial gets it to the top of the order for Johnny Washington. Now change is going to be made for Leuzinger, apparently. We'll get a new second baseman in the ball game. Leuzinger Olympians have a new second baseman. And we will let you know who that new second baseman is. It'll be Rudy Nembreno. Rudy Nembreno will be the new second baseman for the Leuzinger Olympians. So make that note if you are somehow keeping score. And Johnny Washington at the plate. So here we go, nobody out. Leuzinger ahead 2-0. And Simpson gets back in there. Johnny Washington hitting .609 on the year. He is a good, dangerous, and productive hitter with a lot of speed. Just wants to let him know that he's looking at him, Charles Boyden. Of course, you know, you play 7 innings in high school baseball. Runner not going, and that's in for a strike. Charles Boyden able to get it in there. Boyden has been excellent on the mound this year. His only win is against Compton. He has good control. And 3.3 grade point average. Trying to use some of that book smart here on the diamond. Quite a few of these Leuzinger Olympians do have excellent GPAs. The BPAs may not be that hot, but in a game of life, the GPA counts. Runner goes. It's going to be an infield pop, and they're going to have a double play. It'll be an infield fly. Nevertheless, runner doubled off, caught off first. So not an alert base running play, actually, by the base runner Simpson. It was probably a hit and run. That's probably what they were looking to do. But you got to kind of see that batter make contact, which got caught between no man's land and easily doubled off for the double play for Leuzinger. They lose the base runner, and Eric Bobbitt will be the batter. Eric Bobbitt hitting .400. Second baseman and a junior. First pitch to him, yes, misses. But according to head coach Gerald Pickens, he's been doing much better than expected. That's grounded to short. Uala should have it. And the side's retired. So an early threat erased on a double play. Middle of the third, 2-0 Leuzinger. We're back in a moment. Well, we go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 in favor of the Leuzinger Olympians. They got a run in the bottom of the first and a run in the bottom half of the second inning. Second inning on a home run by Charles Boyden. Batters 2, 3, and 4 scheduled up in the form of David Prett to lead it off. He's a starting catcher and a junior. Now Prett's BPA is 111, which puts him on the interstate as he watches strike one here. But his GPA is 3.5. And he's a returning player for Joel Romero and one of the team leaders. Facing Kelling Buffington here. That's on the outside corner, call strike two. Kellen Buffington, a workhorse out there on that mound, facing the heart of the Leuzinger order. Count 1-2. This is a nice little baseball field here at Leuzinger on Leuzinger's campus. 1-2 to Prett, that's up high. Prett is an honor roll student. We mentioned at 3.5 grade point average. And he's a junior. And right here, he's going to dishonorably go back to the bench after being called out. So Prett will take a seat. Third strikeout for Kellen Buffington. And batter number 3 in the order, Vince Vigueras will be the batter. Vigueras, a starting left fielder, an excellent all-round player. Watches ball one. Vigueras on the interstate with the batting average at 167, but on the honor roll with a grade point average at 3.3. Can not only play left field, but Vigueras can also pitch. Watches inside and tight. Count goes to 3-0 to Vince Vigueras. Batting third in the order. And Coach Joe Romero thinks he's going to be a good all-round player as he watches strike one. A lot of these Leuzinger Olympians offensively should have better days ahead as the season wears on. Swings through a breaking pitch there, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Matter of fact, in talking to some of the opposing managers, they say Leuzinger not a team they'd want to face in a couple of months. That's a call, strike 3. So 2 consecutive strikeouts now for Kellen Buffington. He gets both batters looking. And after giving up the home run, he settled down to retire 4 in a row. Make that 5 in a row. 4 of the 5 have been by the strikeout route. Here's Henry Cooley. He's the designated hitter on the afternoon. He's got excellent power, Willie Horton type. He watches outside. He looks like Willie Horton with that gray Leuzinger uniform on. He's got 7 RBIs and 1 home run. First year he's played high school baseball. He's going to have a bouncer towards second, and Bobbitt will make the easy throw that's dug out by Hassan Amin at first, so they go in order. Nothing across through 3, Leuzinger 2, Centennial nothing. Back with a 4th in a moment. Andrew Toussaint, the senior, will lead it off for Centennial in the 4th inning. His team trailing Leuzinger 2-0. Andrew Toussaint, starting catcher, and a very interesting story. As you take a look at Charles Boyden working on a 2-0 shutout through 3. And here's the first pitch to Toussaint on the inside corner for call strike 1. Andrew Toussaint had 14 home runs in 1999. And he is being watched by pro scouts. They feel he's a legitimate pro prospect, as that one is a little high and tight, 1-1. Coach Gerald Pickens has done a lot of work with him, has brought him along. And of course, from behind the dish, as a pitcher or catcher in particular, is one of the quickest ways to get to the major leagues. Now, if you ask why catching is one of the easiest ways to get to the major leagues, because it is one of the more skilled positions. Not everybody wants to do it. It takes a lot out of you, and you have to really have a good knowledge of the game. You've got to know how to call the game. You've got to know how to work your pitchers. And then, of course, how would you like to get up and down on those knees all day, take those foul tips? And think about it. You are the only player as that catcher who faces the action. Here's a 2-2 pitch coming, and it's in tight, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So if you got a good catcher, somebody who's got some power and some speed, as you take a look at the physique of Andrew Toussaint, it looks like he can run. If he can put it all together and get the right kind of coaching at the next level, he could be a shot. That's chopped to third, and the good high hop is played by Ramos, and a nice scoop at first place by Lopez. So Ramos and Lopez doing the work at the corners to retire Andrew Toussaint. They get him on the 3-2 pitch. 1 away in the 4th. Larry Bennett will be the batter. Larry Bennett hitting 4th in the order. He's a starting third baseman. Came into today's game hitting .488. And it's fouled off. When these two teams met the last time, Leuzinger Olympians had a 1-run lead early. And an unearned run and error in the field opened the floodgates. That one is hit toward the hole. Uala going to make the stop. Now the throw. And he's pulled off the bag at first. Lopez is pulled off the bag. So the runner is safe. Larry Bennett is safe. And that would have to be a throwing error. Ball was hit to the hole. Uala did a good job to get over there and get it. But a good throw gets the base runner. Larry Bennett not blazing speed down there. But the good throw beats him, so I got to make that an E6. Which brings the tying run to the plate here in the top of the 4th for Centennial in the form of Ismail Amin. Ismail Amin fly to center his first time up. We'll see if they put something on here. Swung on and missed. Tried a little hit and run in the 3rd inning, and base runner Ronnie Simpson got doubled off on a little infield bloop, where the infield fly rule was in order anyway. And then, of course, they ran themselves into a double play in the 2nd inning. No harm, no foul right there. Head coach Gerald Pickens was ejected from the ball game in the 2nd inning. We don't know why, what he was upset about, but he was tossed. So the team being run by one of the assistant coaches right now. That's inside and tight. Good afternoon for baseball here on this final day of March, 1999. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ismail Amin. He'll step out for a second. In the Ocean League, teams will play each other twice during the regular season. Compton Centennial 1-2, trying to even their Ocean League record. They're 5-2 overall. Leuzinger would like to get their first Ocean League win. Takes a little something off there. And he's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. Charles Boyden 1-1 on the year. Got good control. Mentioned at 3.3 grade point average. Looks with a sign some Pret, but going to go to first base first. Bennett back. So far, they've not put anything on for Bennett yet. Boyden's going to work from the stretch. 2-2. Just missed. Very close right there. If you're Leuzinger coach Joel Romero, you got to be saying, where was that one? Where was that one? Leuzinger coaches, or Leuzinger dugout on the 3rd base side. Centennial dugout on the 1st base side. So will they put something on? 3-2, 1 out. Boyden's thinking like that, so you'll let him know that he's there at first base. Larry Bennett, runner at first, reached on an error. Ismail Amin has the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Boyden to the set. And it's outside. It's going to be ball 4. And with the ball being thrown into center field, that ball is live. Batter gets the base automatically, but of course if you overthrow it, batter can get up and run. And what have we at the plate? Was that strike 3 called? What have they called it? Well, perhaps the count was not 3-2. So that becomes, now the count is 3-2. So that was actually ball 3. So that does become a stolen base. Now the count is full. Well, with no electronic scoreboard, as I said, you got to pay close attention. 3-2 right now. That misses. There's ball 4. So Amin will be the runner at first. Bennett stays at second following the steal. 2 men on for Centennial. Antoine Shepard will be the batter. Shepard got a base hit his last time up. Getting some instructions from the person who has taken over the coaching duties in the absence of head coach Gerald Pickens, who was ejected for arguing. And here's a pitch. Backs him up a bit. They're going to look at the plate position. Shepard not crowding the plate, but of course Boyden has to be able to work effectively. That's on the outside corner. Boyden, one of those control pitchers where location is the key to success, and he cannot afford to have a batter crowding that plate, or that just kind of takes away his livelihood. See where he comes with this one. Tries to go inside, and it's swung on and missed, but the ball gets away from Brett. That's going to be a pass ball. So that ball was not fouled, was not foul tipped. It was not held onto by Brett, and that means both runners alertly moved up. Bennett down to third, Amin down to second, and that means now it drastically changes things with 1 man out and the tying runs in scoring position. That means the infield will have to play things a little differently. So will the outfield. And they're going to play in. Going to play up on the grass all around, try to cut off one of the runs at the plate. The run at second is the one that would tie the score. And here's a delivery that's bounced in the dirt. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two delivery, big pitch. Swung on and missed. He gets in. Or does he? No, he doesn't. Not yet. Hold everything. The count should now be, let's see if the umpire holds up the fingers, 2-2. Bear with us, folks. No electronic scoreboard. Doing the best we can. This is a 2-2 pitch. Now he's gone. How about that? In there for a call, strike 3. So that's strike 3. 2 men away. Infield can drop back to regular depth. And that'll leave it up to Hassan Amin. Had a big strikeout there for Charles Boyden. Also a tough out for Centennial because they had a chance to at least get 1 run in without the benefit of a base hit. Now they will need a 2-out base hit to do something here as the game gets late, and they may have it. That's hit toward the hole. 1 run will score. And with the ball bobbled in left field, they're going to send the second runner. He hits a play at the plate. He is out of there. He's out of there. Vince Vigueras gunning down the base runner, Ismail Amin. He bobbled it slightly in left field. And when the third base coach saw that, he elected to send the runner. And he is gunned down at the plate, and a nice play made by David Brett. When you consider his pass ball put them in trouble, he comes back and blocks the plate well to help retire the side. So they do get 1 run on the base hit, but the man gunned down and home, and it stays 2-1 Leuzinger. We'll be back with the 5th inning right after this. Well, a play at the plate ending the top half of the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 2-1 Leuzinger. Kellen Buffington on the mound. There are a couple of changes that are going to be made apparently for Centennial, and we'll try to pick them up for you as we go.
Follow through with that bat.
But to lead it off right here, be Jose Ibarra, the center fielder.
Start, way to watch, way to watch.
Ibarra watches outside for ball one.
Jose, watch it. Watch the foot, huh? Watch the foot.
Next delivery, that's in for a call strike.
All right, let's go.
Since Kellen Buffington gave up the home run to Charles Boyden, he's retired 6 in a row. 4 of the 6 have been by K. This one is lined towards center field, and it's going to be under the glove and on by center fielder Ronnie Simpson. Ibarra will run. He'll be into third with a stand-up triple. Well, you could give him a single and a 2-base error, or you could give him a very tough luck triple. I'd have to give him a triple all the way on that. Not an easy play to make in center field. Not a particularly easy ball to make. He elected to come in and try to get it, as if he plays back and tries to get it on the bounce, he holds him to a single, but I'll be generous and give him a triple right here. How about that? It's going to bring up Carlos Ramos. Runner on third, nobody out. And with the infield back, that'll get the run. Well, they're going to come home, and they get him. So they elect to come home. The infield was back, and that was a gutsy play by Johnny Washington. They didn't bring if they bring the infield in, that's a base hit. It bounces over. Bounces over his head easily. And he's got an RBI, but they held it back. And you got to respect that arm and the good block at the plate by Andrew Toussaint. So the base runner, Ibarra, gunned down. Ramos reaches on the fielder's choice. They'll be one away. Leuzinger loses a scoring opportunity right there with one out.
Take one more shot, Stevie. Come on, baby.
And Charles Boyden homered his last time up. He'll be the batter. Watches an off-speed pitch for strike one.
Straight through, Charles. Straight
Charles
through.
Boyden hit a high fly ball over the left field wall his last time up. Trying to do it again, and not going to get an opportunity on that pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. And that's one going to be popped out of play. It should make it onto the asphalt. Harry Bennett giving it a look.
You gotta come down on it. Pitch is too high. You gotta come down
Good
on it.
pitching duel, all in all, between Charles Boyden and Kellen Buffington.
Stay focused, Charles. You gotta follow through.
Boyden is not a strong hitter, although you wouldn't know that by his last time up. Previous to that, he had not been hitting well previous to his last at bat, but he'd been getting a lot of walks, which kind of suggests either they're pitching wildly to him or he's selected at the plate. Trying to help himself here in the hole. Runner off first, that's in for a call, strike 3. So another caught looking. Buffington continues to rack him up. That's now 5 strikeouts on the afternoon. And Gambino will be the batter. Andrew Gambino is up one time, and he was a strikeout victim.
Gotta be there, Eggie. Gotta be there.
And he watches on the outside corner for a call, strike 1. Carlos Ramos. Runner on at first. He reached on a fielder's choice. Swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes.
Come on, Eggie. Get in there. You gotta be in there.
0-2. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the bottom half of the 4th inning, good ball game. 1-run game, 2-1 in favor of Leuzinger. And Gambino is going to hit it toward third. Bennett will make the easy play, and that'll retire the side. So a triple, a man gun out at the plate, and nobody left on. And at the end of 4, 2-1 in favor of Leuzinger, back with the top of the 5th right after this. Good 2-1 ball game as we head to the 5th. Leuzinger with the lead. And Callan Buffington will lead it off for Centennial. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Watches ball 1 from Charles Boyden. Charles Boyden's allowed 1 run on 4 hits so far. Count is 1-1. Callan Buffington hitting .625 coming into this ball game. 1-1 delivery. That's going to be in the field of play, and Lopez will make the catch in foul territory. So the foul pop retires Buffington. And to the 9th man in the order, Ronnie Simpson. Ronnie Simpson into the batter's box, had a base hit his last time up. Tries to bunt, and they're going to have to field that one, and they do. So the ball dying on the chalk, and Brett able to make the play. Simpson for the second time trying to bunt his way on, not able to do it this time. And there are 2 men away. So to the top of the order for Johnny Washington. Johnny Washington hitting .609, made a good play in the field. Gun the runner out at the plate when the infield was not back. A good strong arm. And he was able to nail Ibarra in the bottom of the 4th. Up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Johnny Washington, first time up, hit an infield pop. Front end of a double play. That's on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. Boyden's 2-1. Goes behind 3-1. Leuzinger bench wanted the call, but they don't get it. Boyden's 3-1. That's chopped toward third. Cut off by Ramos. And it's not handled at first base. Ball not handled at first base. You know what? I'm going to ask somebody in the stands here. Who's the error on that one? First baseman or on the throw? Who gets the error, the first baseman or the throw? Who gets it? Third baseman? Okay, the fans in the stands say the third baseman gets the error. Okay. We let them, we believe in democracy. We let them do the scoring here. So runner on first, Johnny Washington. And they did it by committee also. Johnny Washington, the runner at first. He does have speed, actually goes to second as the ball gets away. And Eric Bobbitt is the batter. Washington, a big run down there at second, representing the tying run. And the ball does not get far enough away for him to advance right here. Bobbitt was up 1 time and grounded to short. He's been doing better than expected as a hitter. Got his chance to start at second base when someone missed a practice. And that other person's name was Wally Pipp, I guess. That's in there for a call strike, 1-1. But since he's gotten that chance, he's not been out of the lineup and done a good job for Centennial. That's back toward the middle. It'll be a tough hop. And they're not going to make it. It's into center field. That's going to tie the game. So a real tough hop. Uala not able to handle. And we're going to go to the committee again. Do we give him a bad hop base hit, or does he get an error? Oh, committee. Committee, what do we get here? Come on. Committee, hit or error. All right, well, you're going to make me make the choice right here. What do our guy in the truck say? What do our guys in the truck say? What do you guys say? They don't know. Thanks a lot, guys. Well, he didn't approach it in the greatest of ways, but looked like the ball did take a bad hop. I'll give him a base hit. Base hit and an RBI. If you force me to do it, I'll do it. And the runner goes down to second on the high throw, and here's Andrew Toussaint trying to untie the score, fouls it off. Andrew Toussaint, we mentioned being watched by professional scouts. 14 home runs last year. Dangerous man at the plate right now for Boyden with the score tied. That one's chopped toward the hole. Another one of those hops they're going to have to play. They'll have to hurry, and they won't get him. It's thrown away, and Centennial will have the lead. Well, you can almost there give him a hit and an error on the throw. You can give him an infield hit. No RBI, but the shortstop Uala has to get an error on the throw. So the infield here for the Leuzinger Olympians in the fifth inning, not playing up to par and basically costing them the lead. As the ball gets away, Toussaint gets second base. So Charles Boyden has made good pitches. He has not been hit hard. It's not like they're tagging him all over the field or hitting line drives. But some throws not being made, some tough hops on the infield. And that'll do it for you every time. Certainly no excuses. I mean, it's all in the game of life and in the game of baseball. But sometimes the ball just does not bounce your way. And right now, the Leuzinger Olympians find themselves down by a run. It's 3-2. 2 away, Larry Bennett will be the scheduled hitter. This inning started with Callan Buffington, the opposing pitcher, fouling out to first base. Ronnie Simpson tried to bunt his way on, was thrown out catcher to first. Johnny Washington reached on a throwing error, went to second. Eric Bobbitt had a clean base hit. This one's hitting the air to left field. They give it a ride. Going back, and that ball is off the wall. It's in play. 1 run will score. Larry Bennett gives it a ride. He winds up at second base with a long double to left center field. So a double and a run batted in as Bennett gave that one a ride. Ibarra gave it a chase out there, but not able to get there at that little cyclone fence, that little plastic fence or whatever it is out there, temporary fence. And another run, it's 4-2. It continues for Ismail Amin. Ismail Amin's been up twice, flied out and reached on a walk. Was thrown out at the plate on a nice throw by Vigueras. Swing and a miss here. Well, this has been a tough inning, but Centennial has taken advantage of it. Nothing cheap about that last hit. Larry Bennett down at second. He doubles. Over the helmet, and it's 1-1. When you're the pitcher, you got to feel a little frustrated out there in a situation like this, Charles Boyden. You know that with a little break here or there, you're out of trouble. 2 outs, and that's fouled off the backstop. That makes it even more frustrating when you consider that all the action started with 2 outs. Johnny Washington could have been retired if it were not for a bad throw, and then of course Eric Bobbitt singling him home, taking second on a high throw. Andrew Toussaint with what we scored an infield hit, but an error on the throw from shortstop, Uala. And it's in for a call, strike 3 to retire the side. But not before the damage was done. 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, 1 left. Middle of the 5th, Centennial now leads Leuzinger 4-2. Well, we are here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Game proceeding along. Getting a little sloppy there in the top of that 5th inning. Centennial coming up with 3 runs after 2 were out. They're all going to be unearned. And we'll see if Leuzinger can answer back here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Starting with Ancelino Dorado. Facing Kellen Buffington. It's up 1 time and grounded out. Watch his strike 1 here. Well, Joel Romero reminded folks that the last time these 2 teams played, it was a similar situation. Leuzinger had the lead, and that's call strike 2. And things just kind of fell apart after 1 error was committed. Could be a case of deja vu all over again. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 1 away. That's strikeout number 6 for Kellen Buffington. Next to the top of the order, Francisco Uala will be the batter. Uala struck out his last time up.
Okay.
He'd like nothing better than to redeem himself right here. It was his error with 2 out that helped open the floodgate in the top of the inning. That's off the plate. Francisco Uala. That's hit toward the hole. Washington would have to make a long throw. It's going to be a hit. That'll be a hit. Does not go far enough away for the runner to make it to second base, and they're a situation where hit way too deep in the hole. And actually Washington making a somewhat risky play because the throw was a bad one, but he spared an error because it did not get away. I mean, I'm sure he thinks he has a cannon for an arm, but that way too deep to throw someone out like Uala on the grass. So David Prett is the batter. Was caught looking his last time up, tries to push the bunt. That's foul. They trail by 2. And that one is back to first easily. Francisco Uala. Leuzinger got a run in the bottom of the 1st and the bottom of the 2nd. Centennial got 1 in the top of the 4th and 3 in the top of the 5th. That's where we stand now, 4-2 Centennial. Tries to bunt again. That's out of the strike zone. Throw down to second. He's a goner. So he misses the bunt. Francisco Uala is gunned down 2-4. And they're 2 away. It looked like, well, I don't know actually what they were doing there. Couldn't have been a straight steal. If it was a hit and run, he would have not been attempting to bunt. So little mixed up signal there between the coaching staff and the batter. David Prett still at the plate, fouls this one off. Now 2 men away. David Prett, we mentioned, that honor roll student, although the batting average has not been high as of yet. Gotta feel as the weather warms, so will the averages. At least from the Leuzinger coaching point of view, they would hope so. Next delivery on the outside corner, call strike 3. He's rung up again. So Brett struck out for the second time. Buffington continuing to tag him. And at the end of 5, Centennial 4, Leuzinger 2. Well, we're going now to the top half of the 6th inning. Antoine Shepard, the scheduled leader. Scheduled hitter. He would be number 6 in the order, with Centennial leading 4-2. And some changes being made. Apparently. Which we will hope to get for you if we can. Mentioned head coach Gerald Pickens was tossed from the game back in the 2nd inning for arguing some point. We don't know. And the team being coached by either Graves King or DeAndre Brim or Johnny Washington. Right here, Charles Boyden down by 2. And it's inside and tight, ball 1. Antoine Shepard at the plate. Next delivery that swung on and grounded back through the box and into center field for a base hit. So the base hit for Shepard, leading off the inning. And Centennial in business again. Good hit right back through the box. Hassan Amin will be the batter. Hassan Amin has been up twice, had 2 base hits and a run batted in. Leuzinger and Centennial sort of mirror images of each other at this point. When you take a look at Centennial, the batting averages are up. The fielding record was, well, it was decent. I mean, not scintillating, but it was good. Take a look at Leuzinger. The batting averages were low. The fielding was not scintillating, but it was a little better. And that's a balk. Ball called on Charles Boyden. He just kind of lost it right there. Wanted to throw to first. And, would have had to completed the throw, didn't do it. And so that puts the runner down into scoring position with nobody out here in the 6th. So here's Boyden. Going to have to buckle down somewhat. Let's see if they'll try to get the runner over to third. All fouled off. If they'll try to hit behind the runner to advance him. It's been a good game. Got a little sloppy from Leuzinger's point of view in the top of the 5th inning. Hassan Amin looking down at third base coach. Shepard on there at second. Pitch to Amin. And off that wooden backstop. Good little crowd here today at this field. Although they're out of the sun, it is comfortable. It's windy but comfortable. As far as the sun's concerned, it's going to begin to be a problem for the left side of the field. Speaking of left side of the field, that ball's hit deep, deep, And that's going to be one bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. So Hassan Amin hitting the ground rule double. He'll get a run batted in. As Shepard will be able to walk home. Double and a run batted in, and it's now 5-2 in favor of Centennial. Well, they just gave that one a good ride. Right into that tough sun field. And that time, Boyden, no seeing eyes on that hit. That one was hit hard. So his mound opponent, as you look at Hassan Amin, hit that double. Mound opponent will be taking the batter's box. Callan Buffington reached on a fielder's choice and fouled out. He is a good hitter. Rogers inside, ball one. Buffington came in hitting .625. Still nobody out, so technically, if you're playing conservatively or by the book, you could think about just trying to get that runner over hitting behind him, especially since you're down at the bottom of the order. The 0-1, that's on the outside corner, no balls and 2 strikes. Antoine Shepard led the inning off with a base hit. He was balked over to second. Came in to score on the ground rule double by Hassan Amin. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Chop toward third. They'll hold the runner. And the throw to first is a good one. So that time, Carlos Ramos made a good throw. Got a good hop. And of course, getting the good hop makes things a lot easier for you when you're trying to make those throws. And right here, we are going to have a pinch hitter for Ronnie Simpson. For Centennial, it'll be Rashid Armstrong. Rashid Armstrong will be the pinch hitter. Hitting 9th in the order. Rashid Armstrong can play the outfield and the infield. He's a senior. Bats right, throws left. Limbering up here. Come in for Ronnie Simpson. And we'll see how he handles the stick. Or the aluminum, more appropriately. It's off the plate, no balls and 1 strike. This Compton Centennial program, they take a lot of pride in their baseball. And that's reflected of their head coach, although you're not going to see too much of him today with him being tossed. He runs an academy. He has taken players to different parts of the country to play in different tournaments and play against other kinds of competition. Chase the runner back, and this pitch is bounced in the dirt. Nice stop made by David Prett there behind the plate, kicking up a little dust. We're talking about Gerald Pickens. He has done a lot to help promote baseball in the inner cities. A lot of people talk about doing it. He has done it, and done it for quite a few years. That's bounced low, and it's ball 4. So runners on first and second. He will have you know, having lived in this area for many years, that as Johnny Washington will come to the plate, that it has been tough, as anyone knows if you've ever tried, to fund inner city baseball for many reasons. First of all, you have to find fields to play on. Here in Southern California, that may not be the toughest thing. I mean, they are blessed with good weather out here. That one's inside for ball 1. But if you do find the fields, of course, you want the field to be upkept and maintained fairly well. You don't want to deal with rocks and dirt and dog mess on the field and all kinds of other things that you have to deal with on the sandlot level. That's ball 2. And then there's the things like the costs of outfitting a baseball team. it's been some time since I purchased an aluminum bat. And I was shocked to find out that there are aluminum bats now going for $185. That's 2 in 1. So that gives you an idea of if aluminum bats are $185, you can imagine what it costs to outfit someone in terms of a uniform, your cleats, your glove, a good leather glove. 3 in 1 to count right now. A box of baseballs can be $45. I guess to sum it up, it can be very costly to fund a baseball program, but it is not quite as costly to fund a basketball program for many different reasons. That one's popped in the air back. Catcher Brett might have a play, and he's not going to get it. It's dropped in fair territory. Everybody move up. Everybody moves up. That not the easiest plays to make for Brett. Not an easy play for him. Difficult one coming up from behind the plate. He did not have a good angle on it. Down a play where the third baseman should have called him off. Ramos should have taken charge there and called him off. But that's going to be an error. Johnny Washington will reach on the error. And similar to when these teams met the last time, bad play in the field, doing in the Leuzinger Olympians. The bases will now be loaded, and there's only one out in a pivotal spot in this ball game. Charles Boyden, you got a feel for him at this point. That is tough. And when that ball was dropped, he was frustrated. Doing a little warm-up tosses now with Ramos at third. So they're loaded with one out. Score 4-2. Everybody moved up. And I guess Ramos may be wondering why that was not an infield fly. I mean, it's hard to call because you didn't know if the ball was going to bounce, if it was going to drift fair or foul. Wind blowing a little bit. So Eric Bobbitt will be the batter. Had a hit and an RBI his last time up, and a chance to get fat if he sees a fat pitch. That's down low for ball one. We're talking about that thought about how difficult it is to really sponsor baseball in the inner city. Much easier to do basketball, and that's one of the reasons why basketball has grown tremendously in inner cities in the last 30 years or so. And Gerald Pickens trying to do something about that. That ball's thrown away. They throw it away, trying to pick the runner off at third. Shepard will come in to score. Make that Amin will come in to score. Everybody else is going to move up. Armstrong down to third, Washington down to second. And I don't mean to be tough, but do you really think with the bases loaded, you're going to pick off the guy at third base? Now the infield will have to stay up. That ball is in tight. Not a good play. That time Charles Boyden not helping his own cause. That's going to be a big error. So Boyden getting tired and frustrated at this point. 2 runs already in. And here's the next pitch. That'll reload the bases. So Coach Romero may have to think about getting his starting pitcher. And I think that is what he's got in mind right now. Because you've got cleanup man, or actually third man in the order, Andrew Toussaint, perhaps the most dangerous hitter on the Centennial team scheduled up. And so we will get a pitching change right here. So while the pitching change is being made, we'll take a break and come back right after this. As Andrew Toussaint steps in with the bases loaded, he'll be facing Francisco Yoala, who comes in from shortstop. Uala will be pitching to a new catcher. Eduardo Lopez will be in the ball game. Bases loaded, already 2 runs in, and that's on the outside corner as Toussaint watches strike 1. So there's Uala. He started the game at short. Charles Boyden started on the mound. Boyden has now gone to left field. And here's the next delivery, grounded in a hole. That's into left field for a base hit. 1 run will score. The bases will remain loaded. No, they won't, as the next one will be waved home. That run will also score. Runner's going to go from second to third on what will be a throwing error. It'll be a base hit. 2 runs batted in for Toussaint. Throwing error, the runners move up, and the floodgates have opened. It is now 8-2 in favor of Centennial. So everybody moving up 90 feet. As Charles Boyden went to left field, he made the fielding play, made a bad throw toward the plate up the line that allowed everybody to move up. Armstrong came in to score. Washington comes in to score. Bobbitt down to third. Toussaint down to second, and this is Larry Bennett at the plate. It's off the plate for ball 1. Centennial was leading 4-2 when the inning started. They've got 4 in so far, and still just 1 man out. The infield will have to play up. Second and third. Tries to hold up, and Bennett's not going to be able to hold up on the swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Francisco Uala started at short, now on to pitch in relief of Charles Boyden. Vince Figueres, who started in left field, is now playing shortstop. Gets the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. David Pratt started behind the dish. Eduardo Lopez has replaced him. So a lot of substitutions for Leuzinger. But they've got to stop the bleeding right about now, and they do it somewhat, as Larry Bennett is a strikeout victim. 2 outs in the inning. First out recorded by Francisco Uala. Runners on base belong statistically to Charles Boyden. And Ismail Amin is the 9th man to bat in the inning for Centennial. Amin flied out to center field, had a walk, was thrown out at the plate, and got caught looking his last time up. That's a call strike. Ismail Amin, starting in right field today, came in hitting .400 on the year. Some of the Leuzinger crowd trying to offer their home team a little encouragement right here. So they'll trail by 6. Swung on and missed in the dirt. Francisco Uala trying to stop the bleeding. We mentioned the last time. Put out the fire and all those other cliches. Ahead here 0-2. Gets him on 3 pitches. So the side finally retired. Not before 9 men came to the plate. 4 runs came home. There were 3 hits in the inning, 2 errors, big costly error thrown off the pitching mound, and 2 left on. The middle of 6, it's Centennial 8, Leuzinger 2. Back of the bottom of the 6th in a moment. Well, number 8 there on your screen. Number 8 on your screen behind the plate for Centennial is Jason Hood. He replaced Andrew Toussaint behind the plate. And Buffington, working on a 6-run lead right now, will face Vince Figueres leading it off. Vince Figueres struck out his last time up. Buffington struck out 7 on the afternoon. Here in the bottom of the 6th, it's 1-1. Leuzinger not playing good defensive ball in the last 2 innings. Part of the reason for their deficit. And not just that, although that contributes to it, there have been some timely hard hits by Centennial. Some big ones. They can hit the ball. Shown by their averages coming into this game. They are on a better offensive team to this point than the Leuzinger Olympians. But some of the defensive problems that Joel Romero was concerned about have hurt him this afternoon. That ball skied to deep left field, rather deep, going back, and it's off the glove of the left fielder, Antoine Shepard. Off Shepard's glove, and that'll be a long double. Shepard with a lot of room covered out there, almost made a nice over-the-shoulder catch there, but it's off his glove. And Vince Figueres has a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Ball was well hit. And he gave it a chase. Good effort. Ismail Amin actually with the chase there. Ismail Amin moved over. He was in right field. He's now in left field. And Henry Cooley is the batter. We've seen Mr. Cooley once this afternoon. He grounded out. He's in the DH role. Ball bounced in the dirt. And block there made by Jason Hood. Henry Cooley, we mentioned last time up, is excellent power, hitting .389. At 6'2", 285 pounds. He is playing baseball for the first time. As he fouls that one off, Coach Romero has him on the team because he said he is a very fast learner and he exhibits good bat speed. And looks a little like Cecil Fielder. Oh no, I said Gates Brown earlier, didn't I? Or Willie Horton. Well, same team, same era. Different era, same team. And a throw down at second. Figueres back in easily. Wonder if Henry Cooley, I'm sure Henry Cooley knows who Cecil Fielder is. Would he know who Gates Brown is, for instance? And they may have him this time, and they do. So Vince Figueres picked off. Shortstop Johnny Washington getting in there. And when you trail 8-2, and it is the 6th inning and late, and you've got a power bat at the plate, what you do not want to do is get picked off first. 1-run game, try to be aggressive, maybe you can live with it. That ball grounded towards second. Bobbitt will have the easy hop, takes his time, and is 2 away. So 2 away. Jose Ibarra will be the batter. Ibarra had a triple his last time out and was thrown out on a good defensive play by Johnny Washington at short. Right now, something being said, perhaps between the two benches. I don't know what's going on, but we see Kellen Buffington. Kellen Buffington was heading over toward the dugout. Back catcher Jason Hood being restrained right now. And what was said, I don't know. And the team coming off, Centennial coming off the field right now. They're coming off the field. The game's not over. Maybe the umpires are saying take the team off and just talk to them for a second. Henry Cooley grounded out to second. And when he was walking back toward the third base dugout, looked like he got upset as he got back toward the dugout. Now, in a game like this, of course, particularly at this level, there's going to be a little bench jockeying, a lot of talking going on, perhaps, between the two teams. Leuzinger cannot be happy by the way things have gone for them defensively. And, of course, getting picked off, Vince Figueres getting picked off second base, trailing by 6 runs with nobody out in the 6th inning. When you got your power bat at the plate, the Centennial takes the field again. That's not a happy situation. I don't know what was said or what went on, but catcher Jason Hood was upset. The Leuzinger bench seemed unhappy And Joel Romero, as you see the Leuzinger bench on the third base side. Kellen Buffington was just walking slowly off the mound toward the Leuzinger bench. Looked like, if anything, he wanted to go after his catcher, Jason Hood, tell him to calm down. So order has been restored. Centennial back on the field. Jose Ibarra will be at bat. This is the second and final time these two teams will play in the regular season this year. And if things do not turn around, Leuzinger will lose for the second time. Ibarra watches low for ball one. Centennial, a team coached by Pickens, Gerald Pickens, that they somewhat on the edge in that they feel that they're up against tough things that they have to battle in terms of what it takes to field the team. I mean, speaking with Coach Gerald Pickens, talking about how hard it is to get players at Centennial and Compton in general to want to take up the game of baseball, to get them away from an overinterest, perhaps you might say, in basketball. And then there are the funding problems, and there are the other problems that go along with it. Centennial just this year finally got their own home field. So the game of baseball, a game that you want to be at ease and you don't want to be tense. Got to play baseball very loosely. You can't be uptight, but it can be very tough when there are so many things going on around your program that happen off the field that it can kind of somewhat have you on the edge. I mean, it has not affected their play record-wise. They're very good at 5-2. And they're doing well in league. Well, now they're 1-2 in league play. Chance to go to 500 today, and they do have a lot of talent on that ball club, but can kind of feel like you're under siege sometimes, and can make you somewhat on the edge and apprehensive and very concerned about a lot of things, because they do feel, the coaching staff for Centennial, that it is a teaching and a learning experience, and they are very concerned about the young men getting the baseball experience that you don't always get in the inner city, and getting the right kind of experience. So there's a lot that they have to concern themselves with, more than just in between the white lines. That pitch is lined toward right center field, and that's going to be caught. And the final out made as Ronnie Simpson makes a nice running catch. So the side is retired, not before a little drama, but nobody scores. And at the end of 6, it's 8-2 in favor of Centennial over Leuzinger. Back with the 7th in a moment. Top of the 7th inning we go, and more defensive changes for the Leuzinger Olympians. Sean Barnes is in left field. He is a new left fielder, is Barnes. There he is, senior. Also used behind the plate. As Hood will be the batter for Centennial, Jason Hood. Hood up for his second time. Had a base hit and scored in the last inning. And I believe I incorrectly called him Antoine Shepard the last time. But it is Jason Hood. He since went in behind the plate to replace Andrew Toussaint. Yoala on the mound for the second inning of work. Came in on relief of Charles Boyden. Charles Boyden went to left field, but he is since out of the game. And Jason Hood looking for his second hit, but he's in the hole right here to Yoala. And it's bounced low. Cisco Yoala coming in to end the damage that was started in the 6th inning. That's popped center field, high into the air. Ibarra should have it. One man away. Hassan Amin will be the batter. Hassan Amin is 3 for 3. Had a good afternoon. 2 singles, a double, 2 ribbies, and 1 run scored. Hassan Amin started at first base for Centennial. Cisco Uala, at number 22, started the game at short. Amin, while swinging a miss, 0-1. Hyman Prado is a new third baseman for Leuzinger right now. So Carlos Reyes is out of there. So there, another defensive change. Just about everyone defensively has changed for Leuzinger. And of course, when you trail, you got to shuffle things up. Bounce toward the middle, and it's going to go into center field for the base hit. So he's 4 for 4 in the afternoon. Hassan Amin, third single. Very productive afternoon for Amin. Callan Buffington, the scheduled hitter. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Buffington. Whose name I do not have at the moment. But we will tell you he bats left, and he's number 21. Watches ball one. Runner at first is Hassan Amin. And he tries to hold up. And in the field, they say he did hold up. Field umpire says did not go around. It's going to be 2-0. Throw to first. Amin gets back in. Francisco Uala. And it swung on and missed. Throw to first. Catchers like to do that. Eduardo Lopez now the catcher. Uala steps out for a conference between the batter and coaching staff. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Now he's going to turn around and bat right. So this number 21, we know he's a switch hitter. So the count is 2-1 from the left side. Let's see how he does on the right side. Takes ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hassan, the runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Centennial leading 8-2. And it's strike 2. Three balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if Amin will be off at first. Not going. Swung on and missed. So 2 away on the strikeout. Amin stays at first. And Ronnie Simpson will be the batter. Ronnie Simpson 1 for 2. Had a base hit. Tried to bunt his way on and was not successful. Uala's ready, and it's outside. That misses. A nice block made. At this level of play, there are re-entry rules. So last time through the order, Rashid Armstrong batted for Ronnie Simpson. He walked and scored in that 6th inning, but obviously did not play the field. That's why Ronnie Simpson is at the plate. Gets that outside corner. Francisco Uala, since coming into the ball game, has not allowed a run, giving up 1 hit. And that's going to get away. And that will put Amin down to second. That'll be a wild pitch. So Hassan Amin down to second in the scoring position. 2 outs here in the 7th. In the bottom half of the 7th inning, Leuzinger is scheduled to batter 6, 7, and 8, which would be Hyman Prado, Sean Barnes, and Andrew Gambino. Next delivery, swing and a miss. Mentioned Francisco Uala started at shortstop. Vince Vigueras is there right now. Popped in the air to left field. Should end the inning. And Sean Barnes is tested, and he gloves it to retire the side. So a hit and 1 left. One last chance of the Leuzinger Olympians. They trail 8-2. We come back with their last licks right after this. Well, if you're watching this telecast and you happen to be a Compton Centennial fan, I want to do something right now. We weren't sure who that young man number 21 was, who was up in the last inning and struck out. Well, he may not want you to know who he was due to that fact, but his name is Oliver. Right here, Leuzinger, the home team, trailing 8-2. And this will be Larry Bennett popping it up on the first pitch. Caught by Bobbitt on the infield. So Larry Bennett, who is in at third, sees the ball popped up. Right there, 6th man in the order batting for Ramos. Right here, this is Sean Barnes. 1 man out. Sean Barnes came in to play left field. 8-2 the score. That one hit in the air to left field. It's fairly deep. Going back, and a nice catch. Nice catch made out there in the outfield. Great catch by Ismail Amin. Ismail Amin with a good defensive play. And that time he robs Sean Barnes. So Sean Barnes with recording the 2nd out in spectacular fashion. Kellen Buffington trying to nail down the victory. And he will have perhaps 1 more batter to face to do that. It's going to be Edgardo Lopez. Edgardo Lopez came in to catch. Represents the last hope for the Leuzinger Olympians, trailing 8-2. That's in for a call strike. And here's a delivery. That's inside. Leuzinger Olympians looking at 0-4 in Ocean League play and 1-6 overall. That's up high, 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll have some baseball and softball for you next week. As you know, we cover Leuzinger and Hawthorne, baseball and softball. Got some things for you next week on Channel 22. That's in for a call strike. So Kellen Buffington, 1 pitch away from ending it here. Centennial looking for their 6th win, trying to even their league record. But that will be singled into center field. So Edgardo Lopez keeps it alive for Leuzinger. Leuzinger with still some life, and they'll have another pinch hitter at the plate. As of nothing else, I want to give everybody a chance to bat. Rudy Nembreno will be the batter. Nembreno batting for the first time, grounds it toward third. This could end the ball game. They're going to go to short way, and the Leuzinger Olympians have yet to win in league play. They are sent down today by the final score of 8-2. They are 0-4 in the league, 1-6 overall. And for Centennial, they come out victorious. They sweep the season series from the Leuzinger Olympians. They now have a 2-2 record in the Ocean League and 6-2 overall. And considering the fact that there was a little tension between these two teams in the sixth inning, it is good to see them shaking hands as they do after each ball game. Show of sportsmanship. So Leuzinger having a bad inning, sixth inning defensively. Couple of balls chopped and hit into wrong areas, and others just hit hard. Some bad throws made that inning, and that definitely costing them big time, but errors do not tell the whole story. The Centennial team, a very good offensive team. They are good offensively. They showed that here this afternoon, and that is one of the reasons why they were able to win. So this is the first home game on the year for the Leuzinger Olympians. It's not a happy one, our first home telecast. It's a comfortable afternoon for the fans. It was actually a good game until the sixth inning. It was a one-run ball game. And basically what happened is the errors that we mentioned, the bad fielding play, and that one inning, the sixth inning, helping to do them in, which you, of course, have to give a lot of credit to the Centennial batters and the fine program that's run by Gerald Pickens. Coach Joel Romero has a lot of work ahead of him with this program. They did not come into the game hitting well. They are a better fielding team per se, although you can see that they don't actually light things up as far as some of the throws. It looks like, I guess some of the problems that they have to do with just knowing what to do with the ball in certain situations, and those are things that you can work on in practice. Those are things that you can teach. But they've got a long part of the season to go, and most of the coaches in the Ocean League feel that the Leuzinger Olympians are going to get better as the season goes on. So with this being our first telecast from Leuzinger, I want to remind you that baseball season did begin in Japan a couple of nights ago. And of course the season began for us here a week or so ago with some softball, and this is the first Leuzinger telecast we've had a chance to do. We're going to have a couple more telecasts for you as the season goes on. We have a few next week. We'll be at Hawthorne and Leuzinger. But the final here today, Centennial with the victory. They come out on top 8-2. Leuzinger Olympians on the losing end. They are now no wins and 4 losses in the conference and 1-6 overall. And we'll hope and practice for better things as the season goes on. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for being with us this afternoon. This is Dave Marks speaking on behalf of the crew and everyone at Leuzinger High School involved in the athletic department and of Channel 22 saying so long. We will see you next week.